Okay, so let's get on with it and let's start to talk a little bit about ideas and find some ways to generate them. So I've called this bit capturing those elusive little creatures called ideas. You'll find I use metaphors a lot. I apologise in advance, but that's writers for you. So I thought I'd start by talking about the question that I get asked the most as a writer. And that doesn't really have that much relation to this pond that I'm sitting in front of. But the question that I get asked the most is, where do the ideas come from? So I thought I'd show you a little picture of me plucking ideas from the air as if they were butterflies. That's how it works, obviously. I might be being a little bit flippant here, but here goes with some thoughts on where they come from. So, where do they come from? Well, the simple answer is that nobody knows, but I do have some thoughts to share with you about it. I think the subconscious is involved, and I think that part of the trick to finding ideas is how we can home into the subconscious and or actually switch off some of our conscious thinking and let the subconscious do its work. Because I think thinking too hard sends those pesky ideas running for the hills. So I have a few thoughts for you now on what you can do to help yourself find ideas. Okay, so the first thing I'd suggest that you do is write, because I think that a lot of the ideas actually come from the writing, which sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? So, when I first started writing, I thought, how am I going to write? I haven't got any ideas. But I just started following exercises and just writing descriptions. And I found that the more that I wrote, the more ideas I had. So, that's my first bit of advice. The second thing that I would say is to read. Now, you're going to hear this from me a lot. Read, read, read. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bore you with it, but actually, the most important thing that you need to do, in a sense, if you want to be a writer, is to read, to really hone your craft, to study other people's craft, and just to get your head into that space of words and sentences. And hopefully, one of the reasons you want to be a writer is that you want to recreate some of the magic that you've experienced yourself as a reader. I'd also strongly suggest that you keep a notebook of some kind, invest in some nice stationery, and that's partly just because I really love stationery. But I would also suggest it from the point of view of it's a place to write down ideas if they come to you in random places, or a place to play with words or do some free writing on the bus. It doesn't have to be a physical notebook. It can be, index cards will do, or scraps of paper that you've got from elsewhere that are interesting shapes. I mean, whatever really suits you. Or you could put it in your phone or a laptop, whatever you would like to do. But find some way of keeping those ideas and also playing with words. And finally, writing prompts can be really, really helpful. And again, the internet's got a lot to offer here. And again, we can just go to Google, type in writing prompts, and we'll find loads of things. But I've pulled out a few things for us to focus on. Okay, so the first place I've picked out is the Writer's Digest, and there are loads of prompts here. They're updated pretty regularly. If I look at the top one there, that was from just a couple of weeks ago. So they are updated regularly, and you'll get new ones all the time. But there are absolutely loads already, loads of things that could hopefully stimulate your imagination, and you might get stories from. The second place is a Tumblr of writing prompts. This is a really good one because there's lots of pictures and really interesting ideas that go with these ones, and you can follow it. You'll need a Tumblr account to do that, but that's easy enough to set up. I've also set up a Twitter list, so you can follow this list on Twitter. You can just subscribe to it. And this is all of the different Twitter accounts that I've come across that have prompts for writing. And so it's a place that you could come every day. There'll be new stuff every day, and you will find prompts to help you there. And then finally, and this is one of my favourites, it's writing prompts on Pinterest. And again, they come with lots of pictures and really nice kind of images to fire up your imagination. So just a few places that you can go to find prompts. And hopefully, once you start responding to those prompts and just writing to those suggestions, you'll find that the ideas really start to flow.